Last year in a comparison with the Pixel 3 XL and Huawei Mate 20 Pro, we found that the Pixel 3 XL was the winner in terms of low light photos, but only by a small margin. Now with the new sensor on the P30 Pro and judging from our experience with it, it seems like we may have a new champion in terms of low light photography. This is Sandeep from RevAtlas. Let's take a look at both these phones and see whether Huawei has managed to dethrone the Pixel 3 XL this time. In terms of hardware, the Pixel 3 XL has just a single 12MP sensor with f1.8 aperture, 1.4 micron pixel size and 1x2.55" sensor size. In comparison, the camera setup on the P30 Pro is similar to what you find on the Mate 20 Pro in terms of versatility, but it takes the same to a whole new level. For starters, it now features 4 cameras instead of 3. The primary camera is still a 40MP 1x1.7" sensor, but one that has a wider f1.6 aperture as well as a new RYYB sub-pixel arrangement. The reason the P30 Pro is exciting for low light photography is the new red yellow blue camera sensor as opposed to the regular red green blue sensor used on most smartphones including the Mate 20 Pro and P20 Pro. While most of the other specifications of the primary sensor are similar and few changes such as the larger aperture speak for itself as it allows more light into a camera at any given moment, the sub-pixel arrangement isn't as simple. What an RYYB sensor does compared to our GGB sensor is replace the green subpixels with yellow ones, which should give it much better low light capabilities as it claims to capture 40% more light, and boy does it deliver. Another reason for this amazing performance is the ability to shoot at very high ISO levels without introducing much noise into the frame. The P30 Pro can go as high as ISO 409,600 technically, but practically speaking ISO 25,000 doesn't really affect it that much, but it does allow for it to have a much faster shutter speed and as a result avoid issues such as motion blurring or handshakes, and also avoids the need to use a tripod. Let's start with these two examples. You can clearly see the new subpixel arrangement on the sensor benefits the P30 Pro by a big margin. Despite the higher ISO levels and the longer shutter speed on the P30 Pro, P30 Pro image is much cleaner in terms of noise, and it also has less object blurring and shake. This also just shows that the AIS, that is OIS plus EIS, does really well on the P30 Pro. You'll notice it even more when you put the night sight sample from the Pixel 3 XL side by side with the regular one from the P30 Pro, as they look pretty much identical at a glance. Night sight sample from the 3XL is comparable to the regular shot from the P30 Pro in terms of exposure, but the noise is extremely high and almost unusable. P30 Pro is perfectly usable. Now let's take a look at the night sight mode from the P30 Pro. In this mode, the ISO is reduced even further since the camera stacks multiple frames with different exposures just like Google does, and this creates an even more impressive image, albeit with slight object blurring due to the stacking and the wind that deflects the flags. Still, the lead is crazy, and it means that the P30 Pro is much better in low light when shooting moving objects or subjects, since it really doesn't need the night mode to take a good photo. The AIS is really good at getting a steady shot on the P30 Pro, but the Pixel 3 XL isn't as impressive. Here again, the details and sharpness are much better, as well as there being a better exposure and lesser noise on the P30 Pro. One issue the P30 Pro has in low lighting conditions such as this is the issue with white balance. The entire scene was rendered in this bluish hue, which it actually wasn't. It was more like the regular shot on the Pixel, but wasn't as warm as the night sight shot on the Pixel either. It's a simple fix in post, but still worth noting. Even in the night sight mode, the Pixel is still behind in terms of overall sharpness and quality. Then in other situations, the Pixel 3 XL screws up the white balance and posts a very blue image. So both of these phones aren't 100% consistent, but then again they're better than almost every other phone out there in low light situation. In situations without as challenging a lighting condition, the results are very similar, and the Pixel 3 XL manages to put up a fair fight unlike the really low light conditions. Here both the phones can be used without night sight or night mode, but preferably you should use it as the results are better. Overall, in terms of low light photography, both these phones are extremely capable. But with the new sensor subpixel arrangement and high ISO performance, the P30 Pro reaches a new high in terms of low light photography that even the Pixel 3 XL or its predecessor, the P20 Pro and Mate 20 Pro can't match, and that's saying a lot. Huawei has shown that there's no slouch when it comes to the camera game with refined software and brute hardware. If you shoot a lot of low light imagery, then the P30 Pro is definitely the phone to go for. Thanks for watching this video. Please do hit the subscribe button if you liked it. See you again in the next one.